sign this scorecard first, okay?
Of course,
for sure. Like I say, I mean, I think what Pat and his team put together here is, it's a great test of golf. Like I said earlier, it's nothing circus about it. It's firm, but it's fair, and it's just very difficult to position the ball off the tee. The fairways are very narrow. I couldn't imagine what this place would be like with rough. It would just be silly, There is no rough. It's very sparse. You can get some bad lies, but typically the rough's very sparse most places, and it still makes for an unbelievably good test of golf. So hats off to the guys, and like I said from the start of the week, I'm just proud for Ballyliffin really that the golf course is going to show up the way it's going to show on TV, and that the best players in the world are definitely scratching their heads as to how to shoot low around here in perfect conditions.
Rory was saying that some of the greens have 2 and 3 breaks on the putts. How are you finding the greens?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. You very rarely get a straightforward one where you're like, oh, you're licking your chops and kind of just getting straight in there. I find the more and more I look at these putts, the more confused I get because they are so flat, and they're tough to read. I'd say obviously putting's one of my strengths, and definitely struggled on the greens today, even though I feel like my speed's good, and normally when my speed's good I can make putts, but just can't read these things at all. They definitely have me pull my hair out a little bit. They're great though. I mean, the surfaces are fantastic today. Yeah, it was another grinding day. I certainly got this golf course wrong. Let's put it that way. I mean, my assessment of this golf course was certainly incorrect on Wednesday after I played the Pro-Am. It's proving much trickier than. I just can't see it. I don't think anyone can see it. I just spoke to the scorer inside, and she said everyone's saying the same thing. They don't understand why this course has not been ripped to shreds, because you're just not going to get it any more benign than this. But the long and short of it is, it's very hard to keep it out of the bunkers off the tee, and the greens are very tough to make putts on. They're very flat, and they're very hard to read. They're perfect surfaces. There's absolutely no excuses for not making putts apart from the fact that they're very tough to read. So. I'm just happy. I'm happy that I certainly softened them up for low scoring, but it's not going to happen. It's going to prove a tricky test, and to be honest with you, I prefer it this way. I've struggled to find fairways the last 2 days, and it's been a grind for me. And it's funny, my iron play is as good as it can be right now. I'm really hitting some lovely irons, but I'm just not giving myself the chance to hit irons because I'm in the rough or bunkers all day. So. I think there's a low score out there. That's the pleasing thing. This would have been a very frustrating cut to miss because being 7 or 8 back going into the weekend and being at home, you can't make a move from there, but you can make a move from the morning, and very, very happy to be in. And like I say, I really believe there's a low score out there.
How important was that putt on 16 looking back now?
Huge, yeah. Putt on 16 was very big, I got a little down on myself after I missed a short one on 9. Not down on myself, but I was struggling to see the ball going in the hole. I couldn't make anything. Missed a short one on 9, had a chance on 11, missed it, chance on 10, missed it, eagle chance on 14, didn't even come close on 13. And then 16, they're looking for a little jumper out of the left rough there, and obviously a clumsy chip and make that 15-20 footer coming back. That was huge at the time, and I knew it was, and it was nice to drop that one in. And like I say, very happy to be in for the weekend because I feel like you can make a huge move from here.
How mentally taxing is it when it is so hard to continually read the course?
Yeah, the golf course is very tricky. There's no doubt about it. I don't remember playing a golf course where I've stood on so many tee boxes thinking, driver too much, maybe 3 woods too much, maybe 5 woods too much. I stood in the first tee today. I walked up there fully expecting it to be 5 wood, and then I thought, well, it's not taking that left trap out, so maybe it's 3 wood. And I thought, well, maybe that's not taking the left trap out, but it's maybe driver. So then I hit driver and I hit it through into the 310 trap, So it's a really, really tricky golf course in a nice way. It's not like circus tricky. It's just golf tricky, And like I say, I think the scoring is the way it is because of how tough the fairways are to hit. And I just don't think guys are making putts. It'll be interesting to look at the putting numbers, but these greens, as pure as they are, they have me scratching my head at times.
Set up to be an intriguing weekend with maybe 8 or 9 shots.
For sure. I mean, I always think it's exciting when it's like this. There's no runaway leaders. And like I say, I feel there is a low one out there. So, I mean, to me, if we get more conditions like these, there's a 63, 64 out there. I'm just not sure why no one shot it yet. It's for all the reasons I just mentioned earlier. But if someone can put it all together, as we get more and more comfortable with this golf course, I think someone will shoot a low one on the weekend, because we've seen a couple of different wind directions. We've struggled to get sort of comfortable with our game plan so far. You're hitting irons off tees yesterday, and then today you're getting up and thinking it's maybe driver today as the wind's switching, and it's very hard to get comfortable with your game plan. But like I say, I think someone can go low, and like you say, makes for an intriguing weekend.
Do you think you need to change anything to be the one that scores low tomorrow, or is it just patience and trusting your game?
Yeah, I've got a little work to do just on 3 woods and 5 woods off tees, really. It's just placement issues I've got. I really haven't placed the ball well at times when I've had those clubs in my hand. The 3 wood's been a little squirrely. I actually drove the ball well. When I've had driver in my hand, I've been okay. But you don't get driver in your hand very much out there, and you've got a lot of 3s and 5s. And I put a 2-iron in yesterday, and I pulled the 2-iron back out again today because I didn't like it. And I'm not a guy who carries a driving iron. It's a driving iron kind of course, and I'm not a guy who likes driving irons. But I definitely have to assess what I'm doing off the tee to have a chance to score this weekend, because like I say, iron play's in really nice shape. If I can get 6, 7, 8 irons in my hand, I feel like I can score. But coming out of the rough, it's difficult to do so.
So the winner will be someone who ...
keeps the ball out of the bunkers this weekend, keeps the ball in play off the tee. I think that's your number one priority on this golf course, because birdies are hard to come by, and you certainly can't score out of the rough and out of the bunkers. So got to place it well off the tee. There's a couple of schools of thought, really. I mean, John Rahm went with the let's hit driver everywhere school of thought today. He didn't really make very many birdies. Drove the eyes out of it, hit a lot of great drives, but just still very difficult. Just barely dodging bunkers. And Ryan Fox, I think, did it yesterday. I'm not sure if John Rahm kind of got that in his head via the Ryan Fox kind of theory, but he tried that school of thought, and then it's frustrating when you're standing on tees like 17 and the boys are blowing over the traps there at 310, and they're just 10 yards too far from me, and I'm having to hit 5 wood off the tee. But 17 is still accessible, 5 wood today. So there's a lot of ways to skin the cat around this golf course, and that to me is the sign of a quality links golf course.